Okay, let's start. This we are now with Mike Vescera. This is for Dargedik.com web scene. Uh, First of all, we want to thank you for your time for this interview. I know this is the first time that you're coming to Lima, and I'm sure that you have a lot of fans that are following you since the beginning with Obsession and also the other great bands where you could perform like Loudness and Yngwie Malmsteen. How does it feel
Mhm.
to be considered a reference as a frontman for your new and old fans?
Oh, it's great. I'm just really excited to come to Peru and play for the fans. I've toured through South America many times, and this is my first time doing a show in Lima, so I'm really excited about it.
Okay. And can you? Well, I know that in this show you're going to share the stage with such a big voices like the ones from Team Reaper Owens and Steve Freeman from Green Reaper. So what can we expect from this show? Are we going to hear songs from your whole career?
Yeah, I'll be doing some Loudness, some Yngwie, and even some Obsession stuff. So it should be a really, pretty much right through the main part of my career. Yes.
Oh, that sounds great. Are you coming with your own band, or in this case, are you using Peruvian musicians?
I'm using Peruvian musicians this time.
Ah, okay. Uh, well, uh, also, this is kind of curious because you, as well as Tim Ripper Owens, you had been, in this case, you were both vocalists for Yngwie Malmsteen. What memories can you tell us about your memories about the period of time where you recorded these two albums with Yngwie Malmsteen?
It was interesting. It was a lot of fun. We recorded and toured constantly. It was a great experience. Those records, especially Seven Sign was just a killer record. So it was really, really a great time. The band was killer. We were playing arenas everywhere, so it was really, really cool.
Oh. Also, talking about the great bands that you played with, one of the bands that we always remember was also Loudness from Japan, such a big band. And also, we read recently in the news that you're gonna play with them for a show in Japan on October, if I'm not wrong. How does it feel to play again with Loudness after so many years? And how did this happen?
I'm really, really looking forward to it. We've stayed in contact through the years, and when Munetaka, the drummer, passed away, we really started talking a lot. And I've always stayed in contact with their management and different people from Loudness. But I'm really excited, really looking forward to it. Akira's an incredible guitar player. Masayoshi, the whole band is just a great band, and to be able to be back with them, especially at Loud Park in Japan, it's just an incredible show. So really looking forward to it, and I hope that more things will come of it.
Well, being in so many projects or bands, can you tell us maybe which one can you consider the most challenging album in your career, or maybe the one that helped you to learn more about in your career? Can you pick up maybe an album?
Yeah, maybe I think Soldier of Fortune with Loudness. Was a really different situation. Obsession was. We had a major deal. We were on Capitol Records and we did some touring, but I think Loudness was a big step up for me, and really tested my abilities, I would say. So I would think, it was a lot of fun. It was great, but I think going into that situation and doing Soldier of Fortune, it was real challenging for me.
And, well, I know, again, you work with so many great musicians, but if you could work with any musician or artist that you like, what musician maybe will you choose?
I I've always loved Michael Schenker. I've
Oh.
always been a huge fan of the Scorpions and Michael Schenker and UFO, and I actually was in talks with Michael Schenker's management. I almost did sing for him at one point. But I think he would be the guy I would really like to work with and maybe do some recording and some touring with. I think that would be great. But he's probably the only other guy that I would really love to work with.
Mhm. Oh, sounds great. Also, we have seen that you have been working also as a producer. Can you tell us about the experience of working as a producer? If you like maybe to work with a specific genre of music?
I do a lot of different stuff. Of course, the heavy metal stuff is big, but I have a friend who's from Ecuador. I did his record, and it was like traditional Ecuadorian and some Colombian type music. I've done, a little bit of country stuff here, not too much, but I do a very amount of stuff. Not necessarily all metal, but of course, I do quite a bit of metal and hard rock.
Okay, well, talking about metal, here also people, Peruvian people in general, they love actually classic heavy metal, but also there are a lot of big fans of the anime series from Japan, and anime metal Yusa. It's also one of the bands that call a lot of attention here in Peru. Can you tell us about how did the band get together? How did this project begin?
Well, I got a call from Sony. Actually, one of my A&R guys from Japan called me about doing a song on a record. There was a band in Japan called Siam Shade, and I did a song on that with. They had a bunch of different singers. It was me, Sebastian Bach, Mark Swatter, Eric Martin, a lot of different singers sang on that record. And when the record came out, it did really well. So Sony decided they wanted to do a project with me, and they approached me about doing something, and we came up with the Animetal idea. And then we went to Rudy Sarzal and Chris and Scott. And but it was really the record company coming to me and asking me they wanted to work with me on a project, and we came up with the Animetal idea.
Before you entered to this project, did you hear some of the songs, or maybe the Animetal Japan, for example?
I knew of the Animetal Japan. I wasn't really too familiar with the stuff, but some of it was a real surprise. When we started working on it, it's really interesting, but. It's you realize how well the stuff is written. Some of those songs are 40, 50 years old that we're covering. So that's actually a very challenging project for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mike, we also, I know this is going to be the first time in Peru, but from the videos that we have seen, we can notice that it's incredible how amazing you feel preserve actually your voice. I mean, you sound very good even after all these years. So how can you maybe keep your voice so good, or how do you train your voice? Maybe if you can give a suggestion for the Peruvian singers that maybe will hear this interview.
Yeah, just taking care of yourself, exercise and not, getting plenty of sleep, and taking care of yourself and not abusing your voice too much. I've been really lucky to maintain my voice. It's a lot of work. I exercise every day, and I warm my voice up and really take care of it.
Oh, that sounds good. Before we finish, I know that you're a busy man. Actually, the number of projects where we can hear your voice is amazing. But what are the projects for the future? What can you tell us about maybe album for the future? Maybe in your solo project, Mike Vescera project, or maybe with again with Obsession? Are there any plans, or maybe another album with any metal? US?
We're supposed to start a new record for Animetal. I think something with that'll happen soon. We're waiting to hear about that. Right now, I'm focusing on touring and doing some shows, but possibly an Obsession record, but definitely an Animetal record or something like that from Japan. So, we're working on a few different projects, but right now I'm trying to do the solo show and really, really promote that.
Oh,
and who knows, maybe a Soldier of Fortune record or something. I don't know. We'll see how the show goes in Japan.
That sounds great. That would be great. Maybe a DVD, or maybe to record the show. That sounds great.
Something, yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we're finishing with the interview. We just want to thank again for your time to answer our questions. Please, can you invite your Peruvian fans to the show? Can you maybe send greetings to the fans of our web scene?
Okay. I'm just looking forward to coming to Peru and playing for all the fans in Lima. The show's going to kick ass. It's going to be killer. Tim and the Grim Reaper guys, I'm sure the show is just going to completely kill. And I look forward to being there, and thanks to darkhavoc.com for having me on.
Okay. Well,